Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Welcome back, everyone. Yeah, in the field report for this week, it's a bit interesting. I might throw out some stuff about duck hunting. Turns out that it's kind of a thing. Got notice this week from a couple of different folks. Actually, I think it was 3 different folks out there that sent messages and this and that about some of the reports that I shared for duck hunting, and one of which was giving me a really hard time about not posting photos and stuff like that. I think I had mentioned this last week about not posting that kind of stuff on social media, and he gave me a little, I believe it was a he, forgive me, give me a little bit of flack for it. So I didn't respond because if you ever pay any attention to my Facebook page, you'll know that we have one, right? You know, I don't know how many people are on there. It's like, I don't even know. Ryan, how many do we have on there? 29,000 folks that are on there. Certainly not anything that we push here per se, but if you wanted to become part of that, find us on our pages, hit like, and you can follow along on our Facebook page. I don't answer negative comments, right? So typically all I really do when a negative comment comes up is just a simple delete or ban. I'm pretty happy to do that in a lot of cases. But so I thought it would be best to kind of wait a little bit until this weekend to kind of express why I don't actually show my photos on social media. Now, I will, after the season's done, I will do a full-blown photo dump of all the photos that you see here in our report photos at the beginning of each one of our shows, our second clip, right, our second segment. Mainly, and this is for the individual level, I know you're watching, because you said you would be. I don't want you to know where I've been. It's really simple. I do the best I can to kind of hide some of the spots. I hunt strictly on public land. I do not hunt on private property, although I did get one hunt this year on private property, and that was cool. I might maybe get another one before January's over with. But so many times those photos have come back to bite me that it's just not it's simply just not worth it. So for that particular individual, that's why. It's nothing other than that, okay? Mainly what they were trying to do is just find out where I've been so they can kind of get there. And that's exactly what's happened many, many, many times. So it's very frustrating, but that's why. So for those that were curious, you have to see the photos here live. It's an easy way to make you watch the show. But overall, this week was super tough. And if you've been out, at least in the northwest corner area that I spend most of my time, a little bit east, actually more east this week than it was west. Anyway, hunting was just a struggle. Beginning of the week, we were able to play and talk with mallards, which is really my favorite thing to do. Okay, I don't mind having a chance to chase after widgeon and gadwall, and you know, we really do our best to try to avoid teal. It's nothing wrong with teal. We prefer to shoot larger birds, pintail, right? That's what we prefer to go after. I like mallards a lot more than anything else because I can talk to them, right? If you're a duck hunter and you're a caller, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The other species, not so much. I mean, it's just, you start whistling at widgeon, you know, they might respawn. Pintail never respawn, but then all of a sudden, boom, they do. I mean, but mallards, you know, that's a different thing. You can actually talk to them. It's a whole other level of what we're trying to do. But earlier in the week, yeah, we could actually play with mallards. Later part of the week, never even saw one. Last time I was out, which was the day before yesterday, I didn't even see one until one finally pops out of the fog and gives us an opportunity. And my buddy, well, he missed it. I didn't even get a chance to take a shot anyway, or even try to call at it. So early in the week, it was mallards, widgeon, pintail around. Later in the week, it was mostly teal, and arguably we really didn't want to shoot limits of those. We did the best we could to kind of hold off on it, but we ultimately ended up doing that. We took, and I don't even have a photo of it, to be honest with you, teal limit with a couple of widgeon in there, which was our last one. But other than that, a couple of hunts of just mallards and widgeon, which I am happy with, right? I love widgeon. I will admit, I prefer to chase mallards. Somebody accused me this week of, not accused, said, hey, don't be such a mallard snob. Well, I'm really not, but kind of am. It's like, I don't know if that's the best way to answer that. But overall, it was a decent week. You can see there, one of I went the wrong way. One of the days was, again, much like the first day, all widgeon and mallards. But it just seems like they either just decided that they're not going to move. And in the same area that I spent a couple of days this week, I got reports this morning from others that it's just flat dead, that the birds just simply aren't moving. So it's just been, overall, a really weird year. This week was good. I would expect going into January, again, I have not personally seen a real push of northern birds, a real push of mallards coming down. So again, being the optimist as a waterfowl hunter, I am thinking that they just haven't come yet, right? Please, we'll see how that works out. We only got another month and it's over. You'd think I'd be burnt out by now, but I ain't. So that's not the only thing I was doing this week, though. I had a chance to jump in with good friend Cameron Black from Gone Catch a Guide Service, actually with really the pretense of going and joining him with their live feed that they do for the folks over at Addicted on Wednesday, and which was a ton of fun. Those guys just have a total blast doing what they do. And again, thanks for the invite, letting me come up there, guys. But jumping in with Cameron for a couple hours, just late morning, finished up early afternoon, went and had a really early dinner, so it was actually perfect. Chasing steelhead, we did have one opportunity. Unfortunately, that didn't come together, but a lot of these guys, now take a look, whoop, here we go. That is just a dandy cutthroat. I mean, yes, we're chasing steelhead. Yes, we're, running the big boat to try to catch much larger fish, but look at that thing. I mean, that is just an absolute beautiful fish. And of course, immediately released. And then moving along a little bit further, you can see that Cameron's son, Leighton, ran into a late silver coho for you young people, I guess. It was just a brawler. So it was just a ton of fun to get out. We did catch, some smaller fish, and of course, Leighton got that one there. Missed that opportunity for steelhead. But in the end, it was just nice to get out. Refired, or kindled, I guess, maybe the fire to get out there and start chasing some of these things here in just the next couple of weeks when we start to get really serious about, at least myself, about chasing winter steelhead. Overall reports this week, though, when you're talking about steelhead, really, really slow. And I think that's just because of the conditions that most of, if not all, of the rivers that they are in. Low, clear conditions, and you can see that here. My home river, the Clack. I mean, I could definitely take the sled out there right now. My bit of advice, though, doesn't matter what river it is that you run, if it's in Washington, Oregon, east side, west side, whatever, even if you have a river that you might call your home river like I do, I haven't been out there since... well, geez, for months, right? So at this level, it's starting to get a little bit low. I don't want to pop a shoe for no reason, right? So if I would probably wait for a little bit more water. I mean, you can definitely go out there and prospect and scout stuff. It's nice when the water's a little bit low. You can kind of see things, right? You can also find things that you didn't know were there that weren't there before. Don't ask me how, I know. But things are going to change. You can see that all these rivers we're going to show you, again, these are just barometers for areas. The Wilson is just a north coast area. All these rivers are going to do the same thing. They're going to have a small bump, which is all good stuff. These are the kinds of things and the time of year that is just money when you're talking about winter steelhead coming into a system, right? I mean, this is exactly... in January, I'm going to go ahead and call it that, or at least the end of December, where you're going to see these little bounces. That little bit of extra stink that gets into the rivers makes a huge difference. You can go from a desert of a river, and if you're a steelheader, you know what I'm talking about, to all of a sudden, they're there, right? And that's because they get this little shot of water. Hopefully it'll hold out, we'll see. But overall, pretty low, pretty clear on all of them, and all the reports. I didn't get any real good reports. Early in the week, Monday, Tuesday-ish, got some reports that were positive, and then from there, it died off immediately. So again, all due to conditions. I think it'll change, and we'll find out here in just a little bit from Katie what we might expect. But let's give you your reminder for your contest that we have each week through Procure. It is simple. Send Jason an email, jason@procure.com. You'll be entered in to have a chance to win the weekly prize pack from Procure, and we really do thank them for doing that for us. Remember all the giveaways and stuff we used to do? I mean, fifth caller. Sorry, that came up this week, and I had forgotten about it, and it's kind of interesting. Anyway, who knows? Maybe one day we'll be able to get back to that. But there you go. It's a great giveaway, and thank you again, Procure, for making that happen. Let's check in with Katie, find out what we can actually expect for weather. And I know things aren't great for what I typically am looking for, but it's not bad either.
Yeah, I mean, look how beautiful it is outside right now. We just got 8 new inches of snow up on the Cascades around 4,500 feet. Absolutely beautiful. That to me should have been my Christmas card. I didn't do them this year, but if I would have, that's what it would have been. And then you head down into the Portland Metro, the valleys, and you have conditions like this. We expect this to mix out for us and clear up eventually today, getting an opportunity to maybe see some sunshine before the day is over. Models don't usually do too good with fog, but you can see here it's just hanging out around the metro and the valley, and then as the east wind kicks in right there, you can see those blue arrows. Things clear out for the Portland Metro and then eventually into the valley and north wind today. We need that mixing. We need that air movement to get rid of that fog. Doesn't last too long as the clouds start coming in early tomorrow morning. We have a brief chance for showers midday, and then this is Christmas morning, right around the time Santa should be here. I want to point out, if you look along the Cascades, that is freezing rain and ice. That is not snow. Unfortunately, that means that everything that's coming through could get melted out by, yes, you guessed it, another potential atmospheric river. This one doesn't quite make it to us until we get a little closer to Christmas Eve tomorrow night and into Monday. The temperatures will start to shift with that as well. As far as accumulation with this round on Christmas, you can see pretty much the day is a wet day. We're looking at about 0.8 of an inch. That 7-day forecast also shows once the rain starts on Monday, it does stick around for a few days, which might be contributing, Owen, to your little bump in your river levels. Try and say that 5 times fast.
I think you're right. I mean, I don't know how much you look at river levels, if you do or not, but they seem to be, over the years, they're very accurate on what that moisture might actually do. Katie, thank you. Have a great Saturday, okay?
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, everyone, we're going to cut to a quick break. When we come back, for the first time here in the studio, John and Lynn Haxton from Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, one of our newest sponsors here. It's just a great opportunity to meet great people, also educate you on a fantastic place to get all kinds of different boat stuff done, and maybe for those that aren't boat owners, something that might, give you an advantage as well. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be back with that and a lot more in just a little bit, so don't go anywhere.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by P-Line, because we fish, by Hawken Fishing, perfection in fishing gear, and by Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, the trusted name of the Pacific Northwest.